Hello, today we'll be doing a little tutorial on G67 2.6 AB1. This will be adding and subtracting positive and negative fractions with unlike denominators or with different denominators. I've already started this one problem here just so that we could save a little time. Again, I'm circling my fractions here. I've got a negative 4/13 minus minus 8/15 or plus a negative 18. Either way, I'm looking at two different negative fractions here. So what the heck am I really doing here? I'm really adding these guys together. This is not subtracting, this is adding, and it's going to be a bigger fraction. It's going to be negative. So I have to have a common denominator when I add fractions. So I have 13 and 15, and I don't know what the heck if they go into anything. So I just multiplied the two together to get 195, and that's what I did off screen so you wouldn't have to wait. So 195 is going to be my denominator, negative, and 195. Okay, so 13, I have to take this times 15, so 15 times 4 is going to be 60. So I've renamed 4/13 as 60 195ths. I took this times 13. So 8 times 13, let's see, 8 times 3 is 24. There's the 4, there's the 2. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. So that's 104. That makes sense. Okay, so now I've got these two separate fractions. I've renamed them. They have common denominator. Really what I'm doing is adding them together, and I'm going to have a bigger negative answer. So I'm just going to add the 60 and the 104, and I'm going to get, let's erase this so I can fit that in. I'm going to get 164. Of course it's negative. Negative 164 195ths. And I believe that's in simplest terms. I'm not going to take the time to simplify it if it's not. And at least not on screen. Okay? I will check that and let you know. All right, I thought about it for a while. This is in simplest form here. So I went off camera so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. All right, let's take a look at, well, let's change one of these problems here. Let's make this a positive. Okay, no, I shouldn't do that. Please, I'm going to ask you to do this worksheet, so I'll just find an example that fits my liking here. Okay, number 4A we can do. All right, so now on 4A, I've got a negative and I got a positive. So here, even though it says addition, when you ask yourself what the heck are you really doing, you're really finding the difference. And so sometimes people even rewrite this fraction first as 4/17 minus 1/3. Most people are too lazy to do that, so I'm just going to rename these. You know, I have to have a common denominator, 51, so I'm just put 51 down. Well, to get to 51, I would have to multiply this times 17, so this is going to be 17 on top. And to get to 51, I have to multiply this times 3, so I'll put 12 on the top here. So for this problem here, we're finding the difference. The denominator is going to stay 51. And we just have to look at what is the difference between 17 and 12. Well, the difference is 5, and it's negative, because this has the greater absolute value. Okay, let's take a look at number 5B. Number 5B has a positive and a negative. I noticed that this is an improper fraction. So this one is really quite large negative number here. So we are finding the difference here, and because there's a positive and negative term, but let's go ahead and set up a common denominator. So let's just use 22. And this would be times 2, so 6 times 2, this is going to be 12 22seconds. and this would be times 11, so this is going to be 55 20-seconds. So there's different signs, find the difference. So the difference between 55 and 12, 55 and 12 is 43, so I have equals 43 20-seconds. Well, that's an improper fraction. We're going to have to put it into normal terms. So let's keep in mind that this is a negative. So if I took and subtracted out 22 20-seconds, that would be 1 whole. That would be negative 1 whole, and there are going to be 21 20-seconds left over. So negative 1 and 21 20-seconds. Okay, let's jump up and do a couple at the top here, and then we'll call it a day. Let's start with negative 1. We've got negative 15 fourths plus a negative 3/7. Well, we'll change this to plus and negative, so I can see that really I'm adding here. I've got two negative numbers, two negative fractions, and I'm just going to have a bigger negative number. So I'm all set up. So let's just go with 68, just 4 times 17. So 68, my common denominator. And let's see, I would take this one times 17. So I'm going to have to do 15 times 17. Do that down. Where am I going to do that? 15 times 17. 5 times 7 is 35. Here's the 5. Here's the 30. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 85. 0 down. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. I got 5. This is 15. 255. So this is really 255 68th. And if I took this one times 4, I would also get to 68. So I have to do the top times 4. So 12 68. So really I have 255 plus 12. So we'll throw that off on the side here. 255 and 12 gives me 267. So my answer is 267 68ths, and it is negative. Well, here's the problem. That's an improper fraction. So let's divide it out. And this is where these get difficult, because dividing isn't everybody's favorite thing to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 267 inside the house, 267. We have to divide that by 68. Well, it doesn't go into 2, it doesn't go into 26, it's going to go into 267. Well, it's like 70 times 3. So I think it goes in there 3 times. So 3 times 68, I'll go off inside here. 3 times 68. Well, 3 times 8 is 24. There's the 4 and there's the 2. 3 times 6 is 18. And 2 make 20. And that makes sense. 204. Subtract out, I've got 3. I've got 63 left. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I can't put in a third one. And I can't bring down a 0 here because we're dealing with fractions, so we're not going to divide this out as a decimal. So really, I've got my answer here. It's a negative 3. It's only 3 times, and it's 63 parts left out of 68. And that is in simplest terms. All right, good luck on this one.